Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Big Sky Crypto. It's Monday, October 5th, 2020. And what time is it? It's just about noon. And I just wanted to do an update on Bitcoin and other financial markets also. Just kind of a general overview of the whole financial markets, kind of what's going on and what dangers might be out there for both the stock market and Bitcoin. Um, at times, Bitcoin is correlated pretty close with the stock market, where if the stock market is up, generally Bitcoin's up, and vice versa. Um, it's not always the case, but there are times where it is pretty closely correlated. Other times it might be with gold or even oil. Um, if you get a severe dump in the stock market, like we saw back in March from COVID, it definitely, Bitcoin didn't escape that. It definitely affected Bitcoin pretty severely. And it bounced back quick, just like the stock market did. Basically, was a V recovery, so pretty quick bounce back. Um, but as you can see on the screen right now is the daily chart for Bitcoin. This is the Bitfinex chart in US dollars. And you can see this peak here was back in August, is kind of a local high that we had. We had this uptrend, peaked here right about the middle of August, dipped down. We had another little attempt to come back up here that failed, so we got a lower high. And then the first 2 days of September, we had this pretty good dump. Looks like it lost about pretty close to $2,000 just in those 2 days. Kind of bounced sideways here. Ended up going just a little below 10,000, but recovered back above pretty quick. So, and you can see it since the beginning of September has been mainly sideways. There is some, you know, it is moving up slightly. And just the last week or so, you can see the volatility's been calming down. This past weekend was pretty uneventful, pretty boring. I think that it only fluctuated maybe a couple $100, which for Bitcoin isn't much. And so today we have kind of a doji forming. You can see here the red's the 7, the daily 7 EMA, and this kind of light blue color is the 21, and the 50s in yellow. So they're actually flipped. Um, the way, like in an uptrend like back here, the way you would normally see them with the red on top, then blue, then yellow. And then I've also got on the screen here, this green is the 100, and then this kind of sort of an orangish color, I guess, is the 200. But these three are bunched up right now. They've tightened right up, and Bitcoin's above the 7. Looks like it's just slightly below the 21, just barely. It's pretty much right there. Just a little earlier, it was above it also. It's tried to push up above the 50 here, but it's right now it's in the process of pulling back down closer to 10,700. So kind of a doji forming at the moment, but this is really tightening up here, so could see something happen one direction or the other pretty soon. Plus you've got the 100 moving up underneath, so that could get bunched up there also. I've got this support. This white is a support resistance line, which is right about 10,500. And you can see back here, it it was resistance on these 2 points. There's a few here where it tried to come up and was rejected. So acted as resistance back there. Kind of through this section here also. It was after Bitcoin dropped, it kept popping up, but it was having trouble getting above that 10,500 price till it finally here with this on the 13th popped above it. Came back down. It's back above it now. Also on the chart, I've got this dotted purple line is the long-term trend line that I have drawn in, which extends from the all-time high in 2017 to the high last June, which I guess was like the 24th of June, something like that. There was another peak, so it connects those two peaks and then comes down through here. So we are above that trend line, which we pushed above right here. So that's kind of important. So not looking too bad so far. We can look at the this is the weekly chart here. You can see this is that dump in March from COVID when the stock market dumped also, and then you can see a pretty fast recovery right back up again. Same thing, I have that long-term trend line. Here's that June high I was talking about, that it connects from the all-time high down through here. And on the weekly, we're getting, you can see here it was getting some support from the 7. And then this is that dump we just had beginning of September, which came, the 7 EMA finally failed and it came down below that, but the 21 has picked up support here and has been doing pretty good so far. Historically, the 21 EMA has been, like, especially on the weekly, if you go back and look in the bull market back in 2017, that was a pretty good support level, or support for the market during that time when we would get dips coming down. There's several times, if you go back and look, that you can see where the 21, you'd get a pullback and the 21 would provide real good support. And you can see where, again, like the 21's giving support. We're kind of, right now, at the moment, the 7 EMA's given some resistance. It's been trying to pop above it here, but we're sitting right below it right now. So we'll just have to see if it can pop above there. Let me see. I think I've got the. This is. I just wanted to look at something even longer term. This is the monthly chart for Bitcoin. You can see, actually, I mean, to me, looks pretty bullish. Like I said, we're above this trend line. We still haven't taken out this June 2019 high, which would be really important. I thought we might do it here at this peak, but couldn't quite do it. But hopefully, you know, Bitcoin's been kind of consolidating in the area that it's in right now for a bit, so hopefully maybe it'll gather some more strength and make another push up and take out that June 2019 high. That, I think that would be pretty important. On the monthly, you can see the 7 EMA has been supporting pretty good lately, last few months. And all in all, I think it looks pretty bullish. Got kind of a almost a cup-shaped pattern a little bit. Got this candle in the middle that came up to that resistance level and got rejected, but sort of a cup, almost looks like a cup and handle if it wasn't for this one coming up here. But overall, I think it looks pretty bullish. I mean, we've had some couple months now where we had this peak, and then last month, September, which historically isn't very good for Bitcoin anyway. You can see it pulled back some, so it'd be nice this month if we could rebound and get above September's high, maybe even take out this high from August also. That would be pretty bullish signal. It's hard to say though. We could actually even continue moving sideways for a while. This whole chart could just extend out for a while before it slowly moves up. Hard to tell with Bitcoin. You don't know. I mean, it could, in a week, it could just explode higher, or depending on what's going on in the world, it could head the other direction like it did in March. So really hard to tell. As far as the other markets, just the stock market, today it's looking real bullish. I've got the FinViz website up. I use this one quite a bit, and it looks like the Dow, Nasdaq, S&P, they're all up 1%. Nasdaq's up a little bit more, 1.5%, but they're looking pretty good. Starting to pull back a little from their highs today, but still up pretty good. You can see the heat map here is pretty green, some red in there a little bit, but overall pretty bullish day for the stock market. You see, this is investing.com, another site that I use quite a bit just to look at the other financial markets. And you can see, gold's up decent amount, not quite 1%, but I mean it's up some. Oil's having a pretty big day, up 6.5%. So that's it just recently had kind of a dip from above 40 down into, I think it might have got down to 36, something like that for a low, but it's starting to rebound now. I guess the market's up, I think today primarily on talk that the next stimulus, the COVID stimulus package, there's been a stalemate as far as getting anything passed, and there's some, I guess, optimistic talk that could possibly see something pretty soon. Kind of hard to tell though. It's it's an election year, and neither side really wants to give much. So hopefully, for the sake of the country, something will get passed through. Even though it means more debt, which is, as most people know, is totally out of control. But it'll be good for the stock market and probably Bitcoin also. See, as far as dangers to the stock market, possibly Bitcoin itself, there's a lot of stuff out there. I actually made a little, I don't know, I guess you could call it kind of like a flow chart or visual to kind of show issues that are around that might cause problems for Bitcoin moving higher. Of course, you've got the COVID crap still going on, still causing problems. who knows when that could go on for a long time. Hopefully they'll come up with a vaccine maybe by the end of the year. That's still kind of a question. And even after that, who knows how long it'll take. I don't think it's just going to magically disappear. Then you got price of oil, like an oil crash. Possibly could have an effect on Bitcoin, might not. Um, it could affect the stock market, though. That's where I've got like COVID can affect the stock market. It can affect the price of oil. If economies, people start shutting down, there's less people using oil. So that's kind of what crashed it back in March or beginning of April. So COVID has an impact on a lot of stuff. There's social unrest going on, which could affect the election. It could affect the stock market if it gets too bad. Then you got the election, which can affect the stock market, which can affect Bitcoin. This is the COVID-19 stimulus stalemate that's going on right now. That can have an effect on the election, also the stock market, possibly Bitcoin, probably through the stock market. It would probably have the most impact on the stock market, but who knows? With elections less than a month away, elections probably the biggest danger out there right now. It has the potential to turn into a big, huge mess. Who knows? That's one of my biggest worries, is that the election coming up, just there isn't a clear winner, and then it turns into a contested election, whether it's one side or the other. I don't know which way it's going to go, but if it's super close and whatever side it is doesn't want to concede, it could go into the courts, and you could end up with uncertainty. It could go, who knows how long it could go. If it's really bad and really super close, it could get extended for months, who knows, without ever knowing really who the winner is, which would be, in my opinion, that would be really bad for the stock market, and also possibly Bitcoin. I think if there's a big dump like back in March, like I said, with the stock market, I don't think Bitcoin's going to escape that. I think it would have an effect on it also. So anyway, I just kind of drew this up just as more of a visual, just to kind of, and I'm sure there's probably other stuff out there. Who knows what what's out there waiting to pop up that could have an effect on any of these, the election, the stock market. And also now you have Trump coming down with COVID and is in the hospital, and that's another reason why the market's up today, I think, is because there was a little more optimistic talk, I guess, from the doctors or whatever, but I've heard mixed, so I don't know what to believe really, but the market's, I think, is maybe taken stuff that's come out recently is a little more positive as far as what his condition is and how quick he'll get out of it. They were talking maybe as early as today, getting out of the hospital, but just have to wait and see. So that might be another reason why the market's up today. But it's crazy. Tomorrow it could be down just as much or more. It's all, a lot of it's headline driven. So whatever news comes out, it could reverse pretty quick. I think that's most of what I wanted to cover. I don't want to do a real long video. Also I've got my website, which I've been updating. I've still got a lot of work to do on it, but I've been trying to just add more content and a little better content. Obviously, this is the kind of the home page. We've got some just some cryptocurrency data on the front here, kind of a market overview. There's a crypto screener, stuff like that. Got a getting started page you can go to for people that are new, just coming in to crypto and don't really know how to get started. So I'm gonna be adding more videos in here also, but I've got just opening accounts, different wallets, that type of stuff. Kind of the new for people new coming in. And I've got this market view tab, which I added. I haven't obviously updated it since the first, but I'm probably going to place this video in here and just start doing videos rather than write-ups like this. Like it might be a little nicer. Personally, I like watching videos more than reading through a bunch of stuff. So I may just do that. Just have this page for video updates. They got a charting page where you can come in, and it's a trading view chart, and you can come in and chart whatever cryptocurrency, stock, anything, whatever you want. Kind of mess around with it. And we've got a crypto watch section, which again just gives a kind of overview of the whole crypto space. There's charts that come up for each. I've got quite a few different altcoins, Bitcoin, little cryptocurrency converter. Blog that I've got some older blogs in. I really haven't, it's been a while since I've written anything, but these go back a couple years, just some older stuff. Crypto news tab or page, which gives just a few of the latest stories on what's going on in crypto. A few other things here under this more tab, but that's basically it. But like I said, I've been updating it, and I'm gonna keep evolving it as I come up with different ideas, try to add more content. I'm gonna add more content for new people also. I think it'll just educational stuff and that. So but anyway, I think that's about everything. Can't think of anything else that I didn't cover. Oh, I don't know if I showed the dollar. Probably didn't, but this is the dollar chart, which has an effect on Bitcoin also. You can see it's had a big drop from earlier in the year. It's come down here and then kind of formed this descending broadening wedge pattern, which just recently it popped out of and had a peak here. Then it's been dropping back down. You can see this is today. It actually poked down below the upper trend line, but we'll just have to see if this, it could just be kind of a retest of this upper trend line of the breakout area, and then it's going to bounce and go higher, or who knows, it may pull back farther. I kind of expect it to go up, but we'll just have to wait and see what happens. But this is something, the dollar is something I watch too, because that can have effect on, typically when the dollar's weaker, Bitcoin will do better. So that's something I almost forgot to show. So that, I think, does it finally. So anyway, this is just a quick update on Bitcoin I wanted to do. And hope everybody has a great week. And if anything major happens with Bitcoin, I'll probably come on and do another update. So kind of watch for that. All right, everybody, have a great week, like I said, and I'll see you in the next video.